By the time you see this, I'm sure you'll have already heard the news about the passing of Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA. His life was taken from him while speaking, answering questions, debating college students. I want to tell you about the reaction of people online to this, the sick and twisted reactions, people cheering about this. I just posted this video on X here. It was the TMZ live stream. The moment they find out that he was confirmed to have passed, listen to the sounds of the staff here at TMZ.
In the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
Listen to that cheering, the clapping, and he even looks over, Harvey does.
Go to... have some.
And you can see them going over there to the staff. One of them said that's probably not a good idea.
Somebody look at the Fox. Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
So look, the very moment they find out, right before when all the staff finds out at the same second, they're all refreshing their feeds, they cheer. And this was Charlie Kirk. Did Charlie Kirk commit any crimes? No. This is who Charlie Kirk was. Get married, have kids, and stop partying into oblivion. This was very recently he posted this. Leave a legacy. Be courageous. Happy Sunday. God bless all the parents out there. And then he attaches this video of his young daughter while he's on Fox and Friends doing this. Isn't that the best? His young daughter says, "Hi, Daddy," excited, runs up to him. He hugs her. Isn't that the best? This is Charlie Kirk, happy with his daughter, with his wife, at the beach, daughter, wife, young son. He's 31 years old. Him and his wife, he loved her very much. He was a devoted family man. This is Charlie Kirk. The caption on this one was one of the saddest pictures ever taken in hindsight now, knowing that this little girl grows up without her father. That little boy, his son, grows up without her father. His wife goes through this life without her husband. Why? Again, did Charlie Kirk commit some crime that merited the death penalty? Here was Charlie Kirk's crime. His crime was disagreeing with people about morality. That was his crime. Being willing to discuss this stuff openly, that was his crime. Now, you might say, Marco, you don't know the motivation of the shooter. We don't even know who he is. At the time that I'm recording this, he is still at large. No, I do know the motivation of people who are cheering his death. And this is something that Charlie Kirk predicted, by the way. Look at this tweet. Very recently, he posted this. Assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same thing about Donald Trump. Among people who are further away from Christian principles, they are more likely to support assassinations of people like Trump, Elon Musk. In California, activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. You remember the one who assassinated that healthcare CEO? The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election or losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. And then he shows here the study that he's working off of for this. Kristen Hawkins, friend of Charlie Kirk, pro-life advocate, says, "I told the pro-choice students surrounding me at U of Montana right now that my friend Charlie was shot. They laughed. They laughed. College students, they laughed at this. Horrific," she says, praying for my friend. You know, again, what was Charlie Kirk's crime? He stood up for his morals. He stood up for what he believed in. He stood up for the unborn. He stood up for families. He stood up for conservative principles. He stood up for belief in God, belief in Christianity. That's what he did. He stood on his morals. And for some people, that merited not only his death, but the celebration of his death. Look at these people posting to TikTok their excitement over the death of Charlie Kirk. First Nepal, now Charlie Kirk shot in Utah. Is something happening? And look at the excitement. Look at this person here. Charlie Kirk got shot, celebrating, yelling. When you've been manifesting for it to happen, but it ends up happening to Charlie Kirk, excited about that too? Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck at a Utah event, and look at the celebration of these people. Once again, what was his crime? I think the reason why this assassination, why this death has affected me so much, very personally, there are some reasons for it. Number one, I'm a human being made in God's image, and when I see what happened to Charlie Kirk, I've seen the image of God be disrespected, violated, and desecrated to a permanent end here upon the earth, and that is so horrible to see. It's done by the sins of an evil man, and it's cheered by the sins of evil people. It's cheered by evil. It also hurts because I am a young father and a young husband, and so is he. And when I imagine the grief, the horror that would bring upon my children, upon my wife, I think about his children and his wife, and I am horrified. All for what? What was his crime? Disagreeing with you, disagreeing with people on morals. Again, Charlie Kirk never hurt anyone, but he stood up for convictions the same way the people on the other side who are cheering his death stand up for their convictions. Is that the kind of world that we want? Where someone whose convictions are different than yours, even on moral issues, that therefore gives you permission to remove them from this earth, remove them from their wives, their children, their families. Their life no longer is worth living because they disagree with you on moral issues. Is that the world that we want? Where this just becomes a two-way street of people doing this to one another. It's personal because I also daily stand on my convictions. And so do you. And again, I live in a world that says he deserved to die while committing no crimes, except for that one, disagreeing with some people on moral issues. The vast majority of them, godless, soulless, far left people, monsters. So that's why it should horrify you. Because there are some people who believe that they can decide that if you believe the wrong thing, you don't have the right to live. They believe they can decide that for you. Your children lose the right to have a father. Your spouse loses the right to have a husband or a wife. Is this the kind of world we want? May God help us. And please pray for the family of Charlie Kirk.